take a look here inside this four-wheeler, and what you see there looks similar to a radiator. I had to look at the book to make sure it was not that, and it is an oil cooler, which the air blows through just like a radiator to help cool the oil for the engine. So that's one less thing we got to worry about, is a coolant flush. Welcome back to JD'z Garage. My name's Joe. I'm continuing work on this Arctic Cat four-wheeler. Today I'm going to start with putting some air in the tires. So let's get going on that. Let's see what we got here. It's not reading at all. Well, it took air, but I do hear it leaking. Like, got a problem with the valve cover. There's our 12 pounds. The valve stem, we need to put a new core in it. I happen to have some here, my tire kit. So let's go ahead and use this tool. Stick it down in here, and we can unscrew that stem. We'll put a new one in here and see if that does the trick. There it is. I don't hear it whistling anymore. Put a little more air back in it. We'll spray some cleaner on there and see if it bubbles. Well, a lot of time the seals on those cores of the valve stem just wear out. See where we're at. A bit more. This tire at the top here goes on the back lip of the four-wheeler. There we are. Okay, that's why I have it up here. So let's move to the front left. First, I'll get some spray put on here and see if that's bubbling at all. And I don't see anything, so I think that's fixed. Let's move back to the front left tire. See where we're at on it. It needs some. Not as bad as that one. See where we're at. There we are. See if we can get to the back left now. Somehow, some way. Not reading at all. See what's happening when we pump some air in this guy. You hear that popping, it's slowly lifting the four-wheeler. These tires are pretty low, but it's been sitting a little bit, broke down. Here we are at 12 pounds. Let me get around to the other side here, and we'll get the front right. Alright, let's see what this front right side says. We have nothing. Pump some air in here and see what happens. Right on the money. Okay, so there we have it. We got air in all the tires. We had to put a new valve core in the back rear. The tire I have around front right now. It comes off this side. I still have this four-wheeler for another day. Have a new voltage regulator coming in that I've got to put on, and I'll check the tires again before I get it back. Back under the right rear of this four-wheeler, put the new battery in, getting it strapped down. I'm not going to hook it up yet because we're waiting on the voltage regulator that goes right here. Remember, we pulled this tire off so we could work on this, be easier, ease of access. And then down here we had taken this cap to change the oil filter, and it gave us a better view of the oil filler window to see where we're at. So I'm just finishing this up. It's not stock, but what I'm doing will work. It's the strapping they use in the HVAC industry. I used to do apartment maintenance and had to do some duct work. I had some strapping left to get this good and tight. Alright, got rubber underneath the strapping in the front, around the back, foam in here, make it all even, and this thing won't move. So we're good to go here. Got the new regulator in here. You can see the big difference. This one's aged. It could have been in here from 98, the year of the four-wheeler. Still unsure as to why it cracked, if this was the initial issue or a previous repair that had electrical tape around it got moisture, but it didn't like it. We've got our new one here. You can see it burned one of the wires clear in half. One of these two wires coming out of here, and then the other one was struggling. So we got this unboxed, and let's get it in the four-wheeler. Let's get it placed back where it goes. Try to get our screws ready in here. Hopefully I have better light this time than my previous video. Learning as I go. There's one. I did clean this area off behind it so it's flat against the metal. It's kind of sort of started. And let's see this one here. Right there ought to get us started. You can probably hear some background noise. I've got the shop door open. Very pretty day today. You gonna work for me? There it goes. Okay. We are good to go on that. This one just got stuck on me. I'm lucky these torque head screws worked at all. So we'll come back and get that off. Let's plug this in where it goes. So this one here is the ignition for the stator. Let's get it back where it goes. I had taken all that apart to run different tests to check the stator coil in, which was these three wires, and everything is at the resistance it needs to be. These new plugs. There we go. Clicked in. And this one here goes here. Alright, we're all hooked back up. Let me plug the CDI box back in up here to get some of the readings, to make sure they were where the spec said they should be at in the service manual. I had to unplug the CDI box first. So it's plugged back in. This is hooked up, this and this. This wire was already disconnected. You can actually put it right there. So we're gonna zip tie all this up nice, and I'll get my neo nuts to get that bit back out. I got lucky with these torque head screws that they even work. This one is almost tried to strip it out. Is why it got stuck in there. We got our bit free. Let's zip tie some of this up. Don't want it laying down there on the head of the engine. Prevent as much heat as we can. Let's see what else I got here. Let's just go ahead and get these closer together. Point this dude down. Since it's exposed, I might find some kind of cap to put on him. So it's just not an open end, but I believe it's already full of dried mud. So we'll see. There he is. Those two there. And we got a clip up here holding these. Let me see if I can lift this up. Let's go this way. Come on now. May not quite be long enough. Let's see here. It's always fun playing with zip ties. Get you started here. May should have grabbed my longer ones, but we'll get it. Let's try one more time like this. Something that seems so simple is trying to be difficult. There it is. Alright, I'll come back and cut these extras. So that's on, that's there. Alright, I had to get the wires run right for the negative and positive on the battery and kind of tied them up. Got these started. I'm going to tighten them down so we can fire this dude up. There we are. There it is. Both of them are clamped down good on the battery terminals, so let's fire this thing up. It does have a little bit of old gas in it, not too bad, and it's sat a long time, so I might have a little trouble keeping it running for that, but we just mainly want to check this electrical and make sure nothing's smoking, nothing's off here. All the electric stuff works, the ignition, the spark, the headlights, and when we're good on that, we'll get the tire back on here and fire it back up again, check the oil. Let's see what we got here. Key is on, got headlights, still in neutral. I'm going to try it with the choke halfway. Wow, fired right up. I wasn't expecting that. So now we're just going to keep an eye right in here. My flashlight wants to. Keep an eye right here on our regulator, the battery, wires, and in here, if anything's getting hot, any smoke, be able to touch that regulator. It's going to get pretty hot, and I've got my temp gun. Going to let it run a sec and monitor the temperature, make sure nothing's going on here. The stator checked out good, so that shouldn't have been the reason for this problem. It was either the regulator itself or moisture that got in the electrical tape on the repair of the wire. Let me get my temp gun. Right around 120. Don't know if you can see that. It may get up to 130, possibly 140, but this thing is designed to cool as you're driving with the air hitting it. So as long as we don't go over 150, we're good. And it's staying about the same now. If there was an electrical problem, I'm pretty sure we'd already see it. I wouldn't be able to touch this, it'd be too hot. None of these wires are hot. No smoke coming anywhere. Saying about 134. I can still touch it. Let me turn this choke down a little. All right. It's warm, but I don't think it's anywhere it shouldn't be. Yep, about 135 temperature. You can kind of see it here. It fluctuates a little. It's hard to keep it still. I think we're going pretty good here. So I'm going to get set up to get this tire on. Alright, let's roll this big hog over here. See if we can get him back on. Get one of the smaller ones started. Maybe. Alright, second thought. Get this guy on here. Loosely, so we can turn it and get the small ones in. There we are. She started. Another one. Here. And there. Wrong way. Alright. Got them zipped up there. Now we put some torque on it. Okay. This nut here, we're going to put a new cotter pin in. Let me get it snugged up about where it's going to go, and then we'll get the pin in there. See if we can go one more. That's going to be pretty tight. Almost there. Sometimes it's hard to get these things lined up on the hole where the cotter pin goes. Let's see if that'll work. Alright, yeah, it goes in there. Get these pliers. Separate that one. Get them spread apart here a little, then I take the short one and bend it up. A lot of people do these different ways. Up. That one's pretty far up. Then we'll take the dust cover. That'll keep that from backing off and turning. Cotter pin moves a little, but it's through the center. There's a hole. And we'll just keep that nut from turning. Got our dust cover back on. We're all tightened up and good there. So I'm going to jack it down. First, I've got to get the jack stand out. So I'm going to come up a little more. Get that guy out of there. Now we can come down. Okay. First thing I want to do now that I got it down pretty level is look back in there at my oil window, and I believe we're going to need a little more oil. For whatever reason, it called for 3.5, but I'm not liking where that is, so I'm going to add a little oil in this, and then I'm going to fire it up and back it out of here. Let's check this out. Right. There you have it, guys. 1998 Arctic Cat, service in repair, just an electrical repair. But this guy's ready to go on the trails, running good. If you want to see more of this four-wheeler, like and subscribe. Follow me. Me and my brother will be out on the trails, and this is his four-wheeler. So keep an eye out for us. Thank you for watching.